Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you, after unfortunately a missed week, another great weekend. And with weekend, I obviously mean evening. Sorry for that. Evening of racing here in Division 1 for City Season Racing League's 5th season. And today, as you can see, we have our already 12th round coming up, and it's going to be the International racing course at Suzuka, and we have our third out of 4 full qualifying sessions ahead of a week's break. And then we head to the final quarter with Saudi Arabia, Netherlands, Miami, and Silverstone rounding it out. And tonight, busy day with 2 extra qualifying sessions which we will be looking at. And we have some catching up to do. Obviously, I missed the amazing finish and finale to the Bahrain GP with Andy only finishing 5 thousandths ahead of Fellison, who took also the fastest lap. Moksha in third, completing yet another strong podium for Williams. And Danger David a further 2 seconds behind that race chase with a great showing in 5th there, up by 4 position as well for Rowley, 5 up by Takangino. Rush took pole position, only finished in 8th. There was a late safety car that interrupted the end of the interesting strategy callings, especially from the top 2. With Krankyok, Kuan, then Quincy, not a strong result. The only driver who didn't improve on his starting position. Vincenzo Verdugo, great points for Haas there. Have to say, Jonathan Darrell, his last Red Bull outing, he has left the league. And we have Sir Ibo, Maverick, Kovatska, Andrew, and ADS. Bottom 3 did not finish the race. And as you can imagine, the World's Drivers' Championship in Division 1 has extended. And with that, I mean, obviously, the lead of Andy, who's going to take this sooner rather than later. I have to say that just above or around 50 points isn't that much. But you have to say, and he needs to be dropping massive points to Fellison sooner rather than later for this to be anything of a spectacular finish. Moksha still keeping Fellison's company. He needs to be outscoring him, but then at the same time would be great if he doesn't take too many points off of Fellison, so we can have a nice championship fight. Despite only finishing 11th, Quincy moved up upon Andrew and Energetic into 5th, and that's mainly because they didn't really race. Russian Siri in 8th, Kovalska, Danger David now into the top 10, despite them only starting late in the season, and also, big loss of points in Canada. Race Chase, Krankyok, Jonathan, Chark and Gino now in the top 15 as well. Daryl moved down. Quan, Verdugo, and Vincenzo moved up ahead. And the last 2 full-timers, at least in the top 30s, are Sir Ibo and ADS. And the Constructors World Championship looks like this, with Williams leading the way, and it's going to be soon over 100 points. And Andy has contributed the most points, obviously, to that. Ferrari up by 2, overtaking McLaren and Aston Martin in the process. So, including Red Bull, it's going to be a nice fight. But I have to say, without Danger David, it's going to be a tough one for them. And obviously, Jonathan needs to be scoring big here. And both of these teams probably without a second driver for tonight. Alpine is still kind of close to Red Bull, but they really have to look into the mirrors with Racing Bull and Sauber. And Haas still in 10th on only 28 points. Our driver lineup has changed a bit. Darrell has left Red Bull, and the league overall, Big Bruiser is now replacing him. And Jonathan is now alone in the McLaren that was previously occupied by, I don't remember, I have to say. And the rest is pretty much the same. And we are looking like we're missing Rush, Energetic, as well as David tonight, and that is obviously going to be a good opportunity for low place drivers to finish up the order. And we're going to be switching to the session now, as we, I think, are awaiting a green light. And let me check who is actually in at the last minute. No changes, it seems. I was still monitoring some discussion inside of the Discord. It seems like we are racing for the first qualifying session for tonight. And yeah, it's Q1, Q2, and Q3 respectively. And we have to say that the 2024 rules are usually picked by leagues to be the short format. So a single qualifying session lasting 80 minutes, but for 4 occasions inside of this season we have opted for a full one, which usually lasts around 45 to 60 minutes depending on the weather, as we await the fine. Oh, there's actually someone new in, but didn't pick a car, so that is probably gonna be the Red Bull then. Not sure if they're gonna be scoring points for them. Just checking in with the admins to see something here. And the game is infuriatingly changing the volume again. I'm gonna go with this until we head for an onboard here. And there's our new guy. Let's see if I can get the... that's I guess okay. I'm wondering what country is he from. I haven't seen that because I kind of want to know what... Is that Serbia? Or am I trolling? No, I think that's Serbia. Ah, that is Serbia. That's actually nice. Haven't seen a Serbian driver before, I have to say. Alright, we are 18 runners. And with Yukmi, actually born in 9 year. Interesting. Yeah, I'm getting old now. We have 18 drivers for tonight, so the bottom 3 will be eliminated from this qualifying session. I'm interested to see if top drivers will be opting for a medium here, or if they want to keep that second medium for the main event, which is a mandatory 2-stop inside of the season, but later on that. Okay, Yukmi is gonna be racing with Big Bruiser for tonight, who just exited the his garage, in fact, and he's just been promoted from the reserve role to be racing alongside David, who, as I said before, is missing. Quincy is with Rody once again, the permanent reserve basically, who's also almost racing every race. Let me check what his attendance was. 9 out of 11 races so far, which is quite big. So I would be lovely to have him as a full-timer, but doesn't seem to be committing to that. And still is scoring points for himself and for the team. Sebo and Bevish, who is celebrating his birthday today. And no, the 07 doesn't mean his birthday, I can tell you that for free. And yeah, VCAP is going to be looking to try and get more points Sorry, I'm still saying Vika, but the Racing Bulls is just a horrible name, I have to say. So I'm gonna skip on this one. Doesn't make any sense to me. They have one Red Bull, they have one bull in their name, putting the plural as well. The RB short version is usually the one that should be used in correlation to Red Bull. It's just horrible decision making from them. I'm just gonna stick to something that sounds like a protein bar. So yeah, it's V-Carb. Verdugo and ADS for Haas tonight. And ADS is gonna be looking at hopefully a redemption from last time out. I have no idea what happened to him in the race, if he crashed or someone crashed into him, had an accident. I have no idea he's gonna be putting in the first or the faster time to Yukmi, as Kranke now splits them, and in the back is Ibo, who's now bottom of the field. No one on the medium so far. We're just gonna keep these off your screen. Moksha and the current second place in the Drivers' Championship as Tuck and Gino goes to P1 is Fallerson, and they're racing for Williams as per usual. And we have Alpine only with Quan for tonight. Rush is missing. As McLaren with an earlier spin from Jonathan. Sole remaining car tonight. Aston Martin with Andrew. Oh, that's Andrew. He's in the pits. And now, yeah, currently leading Q1 Tark and Gino. With Mercedes, with Krank also posted a time already. As Kovačka goes to second position, and with our Drivers' Championship leader in actually both divisions is Andy Andre. And Kick Sauber is being presented by Race Chase, and yeah, that's second placed. Kovačka, not so strong in quali, but even better in the race. And yeah, don't count him out, even if he's gonna be out in this Q1. Which I don't know if that's gonna be happening. This new guy, no idea if he's fast enough to pull something out of the bag. My suspicion would be Yukmi, 18th, Seibo, 17th, and maybe Big Bruce on 16th. Really depends on if someone of the big guys hammers it into the wall and how good the first attempt here is. Yeah, okay. I think I got my bottom three settled already. Seibo has already improved past Veriduco. Yeah, Veriduco I think can make it through. Honestly, I'm a bit torn on them, but Yukmi certainly might be Seibo or Big Bruiser versus Veriduco. Let's see. But the others I can't really see. Kuana is gonna be fast enough for that. I think bottom end at the end of Q2 probably. But I don't see how he's gonna be eliminated here in Q1, as he's navigating into Degna 1. Very fast, very lovely corner to drive. And now at the exit of Degna 2. A bit more off the green. Extension that is currently active at the track as he hits the brakes for the turn 11 hairpin and then completely locks the rears. So that might be too little brake bias, and obviously that means it's to fight the back. Goes off at Spoon twice, but they're slow enough so the game doesn't invalidate his lap time. As more and more drivers are starting push laps, including both Ferraris, Fellison as well, and Moksha on an out lap as well. Final chicane is navigated nicely, and interested to see if he's gonna call that one a day. No shame in putting in a banker lap early, I have to say so. But yeah, that's his decision. Quincy goes to 5th. That's quite far off. 4 tenths behind Clark and Gino. Interesting. But it could have been a scrappier banker lap. Probably currently in P13, as Ferrari was looking to be nowhere in yesterday's race. Despite me not really looking at the screen, I could notice that they didn't really change position. Half a second faster as really compared to the previous Fastest lap from Takegino, and there's a spin by a Haas, including front wing damage, and that is ADS here inside of the, or at the exit of the spoon curve into 130. We go, stay tightly to the left as we prepare, and what seemed to be a lockup here for Feddersen into the only chicane on this racetrack. Was still navigated nicely and roughly a second faster by this guy, and you can expect more times tumbling down the order by Andy, Andre, for example, or other people. Targentino, we apparently missed that, and now there's a car in front, and that was not Rolly. Takagino abandons lap. I think that he was faster, so Quincy prepped another lap and didn't seem to be aware that there was someone coming. I'm gonna jump to Andy Andre, trying to close this lap out, and I think we're gonna see something in the low 28s now. It's 28.1, half a second faster. These guys are not having a good time against him this season. And yeah, to worsen their experience, he's even further ahead and could be closing out the World Championship, I think, tomorrow already, which is obviously going to be quite a statement. 4 races to go, you basically have nothing to do apart from taking more wins, as Andrew just skids off to cut a bit of the grass, uses the outside curb on the first apex, and then moves to the left hand side on this back, let's call it straight, although there's no DRS available here. It's a very fast part, and the prime overtaking opportunity will be into this turn, not turn 1. Now let's see chicane, and that looks good. Traction looks nice. He's gonna finish off the lap, and it's gonna be inside the top 5, and that is in fact true. P3 for the moment, as Kwan just has started the lap. Race chase Bavish and a Moksha without any lap time so far. Moksha was out before on an out lap and just has started this lap, and there's huge disruption into the first turn, but he will be clear of that, thankfully. I hope the cars in front now get out of the way. Yeah. I think that was... yeah, it looked like Andrew. So, not so great for Moksha so far, and we are in the dying minutes already. Yeah, okay, 6:30 is still not. I think a 30.4 makes it through. Oh yeah, certainly. Certainly easy for Q1. Q2, not so sure. We have to see what the rest does. We have some fast drivers without times. Kwan is going to cross the line now and finishing off his first lap, and he jumps to 30.8, and that is certainly going to make him comfortable for Q1, and he's going to be through. Grand I will break out on the used tires. Yeah, don't crash it just like you did before. I've seen that. Don't do it again. Bavish, the birthday boy, into the final chicane. That is turn 17. Oh, we didn't look at the track map before. Should do that as well. And Bavish over the line. The cup into the top 5 as well. Very well done. Race chase on the back straight now. I haven't looked at sector time so far. We might want to do this with Moksha maybe in a few moments time. Fellison has retired, and Rowley as well. I think they're good to go, below 1 minute 30 anyway. And race chase, and that's a top 6 finish so far as well. I'll try, yeah. better do that. Yeah, have a quick look at the track map as well before we move further. And it's in fact, turn 16 to 17, there are only 18 corners. My apologies. Yeah, very technical and downforce heavy first sector, as you can see. Up the hill towards Dunlop curve, Degner 1, Degner 2, starting off the second sector, and then really at the halfway mark of the back straight, you're gonna be doing the third and final sector, which is only consistent of 4 corners, but 4 very crucial corners, also lining you up and starting off your qualifying laps, which we are looking at right now, and I hope we're gonna be seeing Moksha soon out on track, and that is the case. We're on board with the German already. Let's see if Verduko has still some time to be fine. He's on 0 ERS, so I don't think that's gonna be anything faster. Did Tarkingino improve? Looked like it. Oh, hang on. Yeah, and by some time. A whole second he was faster. Herman's notebook. Sorry? Context? What's with my notebook? What kind of notebook are you referencing? Alright, that is no more improvement here. And we're gonna be looking at an onboard lap around the Suzuka International Racing Course. Starting off the lap at the exit of the final chicane. Move to the furthest to the left-hand side to warm up. Basically the lap for the time as well. The further you go onto the straight, the later you start the time with higher speed. Very hesitant on the downshifting here from 8th to 7th and then later into 5th. Commits with 5th gear, but the car isn't really there, I have to say. It doesn't look planted, goes down to 4th gear, which I certainly would do, but Moksha is even capable of handling that himself, but I have to say the car isn't that planted. 3rd gear for this second Degner. Don't run over the entry curb too much, but use plenty of the outside. Heavy braking and slow downshifts here on 3rd gear out of the turn 11 hairpin, and now stay to the right hand side. Use this track as little as possible. Prepare your entry for spoon. Ride a bit of the inside curb, a bit too much here, and the outside wasn't really utilized that much. A bit of a scrappy lap, I have to say, from Moksha, and I don't think he will be minding me for saying that out loud. And now 8th gear for the 130 R corner that is flat out in these cars now. Braking at 100 meters and cutting a lot of the inside chicane, especially on the left hand side. And now stay close to the wall and come over the line to jump into P3 and 4 tenths behind the teammate. Isn't not bad, but it's only Q1 anyway. And Yukmi has invalidated his lap time and he's still fighting with the car at the exit of the spoon curve. There's a section of F1 weekends called Ted's Notebook. Oh yeah, and he goes through what happened between the two races. And hey to Daryl as well. Yeah, I know, but I'm usually doing that anyway. So you just thought of a word that would fit that kind of thing I do. Okay. Jonathan, with an extra attempt, he is currently over a second ahead of the drop zone driver, which is Yukmi, who just invalidated his lap time, and time is not left there on the board as Jonathan improves by over a second as well, 29.8. That's very good. Quan out, but I don't think he needs to be, to be honest. Don't see how Ibo, who's not out, yeah, he can't be beaten. Like, I don't think 4 seconds is findable by Big Bruiser. But let's see if he can deny me. Also, Kwon is now behind him, so if Kwon is fast already behind him on track, he's gonna overtake him soon. Who's favorite for Poleman? Who do you think? Yeah, Fellison is gonna put it in a sarcastic tone, but I'm gonna say it just straight out. It's gonna be Andy with half a second already. I think Fellison, not to be mean, but I don't think you're gonna be putting in a 0.1 at the end of Q3 when the track is at its best. And speaking of on the track, off the track is Kwon now. And he's not gonna be improving. So if Big Bruiser actually pulls this out of the bag, he might be out, but the gap is big. And he needs to be flying like the Flying Dutchman, who did that on Saturday morning for European time. And he's off the track, and that is no improvement from him. And we have our bottom 3 drivers, who I, although not in the right order, did in fact predict. So Red Bull maybe need to be looking at swapping both drivers, despite only one VCAP. Oh no, one VCAP is also in the bottom. Honda is having an absolute nightmare weekend here today. Bevish, the birthday boy, only holding up the flag, so yeah, that's gonna be interesting now. Christian Horner is furious. Get someone else in. Maybe phone me, Christian. I know I won't be P1, yeah. I'm thinking that as well. But I wish you would be, because then you would cut down the gap. And Moksha... If Moksha's in front of you, that's just gonna hurt you. And I don't want that, so stay away from him, Moksha. Don't interfere. Has got hands? Yeah. Not too bad. Those lap times from them, Q1. I have to say the gap in between the midfield isn't enormous. Everyone is capable of a good lap time. And I have to say, both Aston Martin's top 5. I mean, it's only Q1, but that's still a good show. I mean, Takagino did a second lap. Not sure if that was on a fresh tire or not, but like, I know Quincy wanted to do a second lap, did not really compete very well there, so it's still a bit of the unknown. I have my favorites to be out in Q2, but yeah, we'll be looking at that. Predictions to get into Q3, what time I mean. Based on what I've seen now, I think Takagino did 0.0 at the end. I think just above what you suggested beforehand. I think 30.2 at least. I have to say, at least I think of a 30.2. Sometimes the track doesn't really evolve that much, and I've read on the Pirelli notes that the track isn't great on track evolution. So yeah, we might be looking at no big improvements throughout the session. I have no idea what the Q1 times from the previous full qualifying were, but we can check it out. I'm gonna go bold, Moksha for pole. Don't tell him that. It's gonna be... And Takagino has forgotten that it's Q... Q1, Q2, and Q3. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. So new tires were used definitely. Full qualifying in Monza. Okay, so Andy went up by almost a second from Q1 to Q3. Let's see race chase maybe. Oh, he even got a worse time. Kovachka went up by 6/10. Veroduku by 3. Quincy only by 1. David by half a second and stayed there. Bevish 7/10, then 1/10. Yeah, let's see. It's very all over the place at the moment, I would say. He did a me, lol. Yeah, he actually did, in fact. Also, what did I see? I forgot something also related to you. Oh, I was expecting someone to be on the mediums. Also, Takangino might be hit with a penalty for the next race. And that is usually a qualifying ban if you impede someone's hot lap. So, yeah, I think Moksha won't be too happy with that. It's unnecessary and always an interruption. I'm usually very leaning into emotions also, so though I can be very calm, I just find that infuriating. Infuriating? Words are today, I have no idea why. Bevish 12.2, I've seen that before today. I don't remember from who, but I don't think that's going to be a bad lap. 29 something would be great. And then you should be in Q3. 28.988, that's even better. Great job by the birthday boy. Quincy about to close out his lap as well. Doesn't really cut a lot of the inside of turn 17. And he goes to 30.5. Next is Targentino. 13. Okay, that's still to be expected to be better. Ferguson starting a lap. Kovacic goes to second. What about Jonathan? Gonna close out the lap here as well. And then we have Krankyok into the pit lane already. After this attempt. And Rowley has spun it out of the last corner. Or out of the chicane, I have to say. And ADS is also... And he has an invalid lap time already. Oh, that is usually because you cut... Or someone cut the last chicane corner. 30.3. That is, in fact, not too bad, my guy. And Moksha... Inside of the second sector, who is in front? Fellison is in front. ADS is in front. No, he is actually going sideways. Okay, let's stick with Fellison. 0.6 on the previous session. I expect him to be way higher than that. Now, at least. Although you have to say, usually when you start off high and are running miles clear of everyone else, you find it tougher to be improving by a lot. Really depends on the track. But listen, probably to P1, half is 3 seconds, 3/10, sorry, only away here from Bevish's Moksha. 30.2 has used, I think, 3 tires already. And Andy has spun it. I'm all ears. Okay. Andy went off the track. Also invalidating this lap time. Moksha was out early, then went out, was impeded, and then went out again. So I have no idea if he used or reused one of these tires he was using before. And that is front wing damage on both end plates for the R's. It's getting out of the way. Yeah, so Andy needs to be going again. No doubt about that. That would be interesting. Would be interesting for the storyline, but then at the end, it's not like the real world. You can actually overtake, and even with a 2-stopper where the game ground is easily lost again. It can be easily lost because of safety car or anything else. Race chase out of the Dunlop and finishing off the first sector on a 32.2. moving the Sauber very nicely and tidy through the Deckner turns. Bit slow on the exit for the hairpin as he is using extra power from the battery to accelerate and reach top speed faster. This fucking camera, sorry, this F camera is not really helping me with identifying how good or bad he's taking the entry to Spoon. 12.2 as well, which was close to Bevish, so we might be seeing a sub 29 time coming here from... Oh, that was a beautiful cut, also horrible camera. I think top 3. In fact, that is top 3. Bit lackluster at the end of the lap, but you have to give it to him. Good lap. Okay, now I'm thinking that a 30.2 might be a bit low, so we are maybe looking at 29.6 or something. So if ADS is listening, maybe I have to correct my time downwards. Couldn't really tell from what the guys were doing before. Someone finished off another lap. Andy did in fact put a 28.9. Where his previous time was way better by 8 tenths. But he's gonna be, I think, happy with that. Almost 2 seconds to P11. Andrew is a 10th up on the split time posted by Race Chase just moments ago. So let's see. A bit more cut on the inside curb. And he's gonna be probably beating that time. And that is in fact true. And he's also on a 28.9 together with Bevish and Andy. And now we have Rowley 20. No, that's a 12.3, so a bit down, but might be enough for a low 29 as well. Very sharp on the turn in there. Let's see if he can keep it on track this time. Yeah, no spin coming from him. And the Ferrari goes into P5. And there was, yeah, also a bit of the time lost in the final sector. And Crankyok still without the time as Veroduko takes to turn 1. Bevish is doing well, to be fair. Don't jinx it, please. Oh. Yeah, not too bad. P1. Yeah, qualifying is not the race, and we are not even in Q3 already, so we have spoken on the Discord, and he thought about maybe posting a podium here, enjoying the track way more than Bahrain, and I said to him, look, don't having drive-through penalties and finishing the race. Sorry. Finishing the race should be his targets for tonight. But he's also stated that he enjoys full qualifying sessions more because he's also racing in Rowley's league. And let's see what that means. 13.3, that's over a second slower, but he has found some time compared to his time. Verdugo is always there to pick up points when good drivers or drivers ahead of him, which there are a lot, don't finish. Good effort here, lost a bit of time at the far end of the lap, but you have to give it to him. Nice attempt here. Race Chase didn't seem to be improving, yeah? Quincy is into the pit lane as well. Does P1 start on the left or the right? On the left. The outside line. You can check that out with your teammate. You can see that the furthest grid slot on the right is P1. So yeah, right, I think. Yeah, from our perspective it's right, but when you're on the track yourself, it's on the left side. So yeah, technically, if you get a good start off the line for P2, then you might be leading into turn 1. This is also what decided the 1990 World Drivers' Championship. This time with Prost being in second, going extremely aggressive into turn 1, as Quincy has retired. Because I think Prost was DNF after 98. 89, sorry. 89. When both were in McLaren. Senna was shoved over the chicane, was disqualified because assistance from marshals is not allowed. Marshall's in a drop zone, by the way, needs to be posting in a fast lap now. And that won Prost championship? No, that won Senna the championship. Yeah, the guy that went for it always won the championship. Yeah, so 88. No, I'm confused. Moksha to P6, that isn't a great lap, to be honest. Wait, 88, 89, 91 was won by Senna, no? No, I'm confused. Hey Steve, thanks. Might take any to Gravital one. Yeah, now I'm confused. 98. Yeah, Senna. So 88, 89. Oh. No, 89 was... Oh no, it was 88. Then it was Prost 89. 90 was Senna, 91 was Senna. Yeah, that's the way. So, 89, Senna went for it. Prost then won it because both were DNF. And and Senna didn't score enough points. Who's out on the fast lap? Verdugo into P11, even faster. Great lap by him, but it's just shy by 0.003 of a second to make it out of the drop zone. And Kovachka's already retired. There's no fuel on ADS car and there's no time left. I think he will be out. And despite me saying earlier that a 30.2 would be enough, it's in fact not. We are looking at high 29s and Korn is off as well. So now we are only waiting for the second Mercedes and Crankyork to be maybe changing up the order here. He hasn't completed a lap so far, so extra pressure on the back of the Dutchman into the Degner 2. And that wasn't too bad at all. So yeah, so 89, Prost won it because Senna took them out. And then Prost took both of them out and Senna won it. That's how. Which is funny. That it happened twice. Also, Prost was in on second spot. Oh, that was close to invalidation from Crankyork. Prost was second, spot went on the inside there. Gap was always going to be closing. I don't like this track for racing, honestly. I want Fuji back. I haven't raced there because of League Racing Games not being there, but I've raced there on AC and it's nice. It's very nice. Final chicane for Crankyork, no invalidation. Keep the car on the track, please. And over the line he goes, and he's 15th. All that for being 15th. Did Kwon get another lap in? He's pushing. Kwon might not be out. Then that's frustratingly slow, yeah. And Kwon is off again in Spoon. My guy is not finding the car to be anything near enjoyable to drive. And Kovatska might sneak through on this one. We need 410s and he's 410 slower. Okay, that's over. I mean, you gain a lot in slow speed corners. Or the most can be gained, but don't see how 410s was in there. Kwon is out. I have to say that this looks like what I kind of predicted. Both Haas is out. Jonathan maybe switch. No, well, it's not. That's the bottom 5. I have to say. Like, I can't see anyone else there. Maybe Kovachka because of his history, but he made it through. That's fine, I guess. And you have to say it's not too bad. Points are easily acquired here. As we jump to Q3. Obviously not real. I was expecting mid-29s. I have to say we needed to switch halfway through the session to say that you probably needed a high 29. And a mid-29 would have been enough. Can't really see how... Yeah, speaking of, can't see the final result as well. Thanks to the game not loading. But yeah, I'm not gonna complain because I'm just glad it's running compared to last week. And someone hasn't loaded? Okay, we're in. So, I'm gonna give you this. It's gonna be a Max no, it's gonna be the Max Verstappen of SSRL, and this is gonna be Andy. And second is probably decided between Fedderson and Bevish tonight. I don't think Moksha is gonna be third on the row. Hello Ermi from Energetic. Welcome to the stream, my guy. I hope you're enjoying. And I hope you're rooting for Bevish, our birthday boy. Because he's been putting in some seriously good lap times. And I'm gonna put some pressure on him and say he's gonna be fighting for that second spot on the front row against Fallison. And yeah, I think fourth is gonna be Moksha. I am, to your sweet voice, Mr. Facecam. Yeah, that won't be implemented, and I'm not gonna do post-race interviews with my face on, but happy birthday, Bevish. Yeah, he's gonna be hoping for a bit of redemption. Not gonna tell you guys his age, but he has some experience of life under his belt, and let's hope that this race is gonna be something more in terms of learning. Ooh, Quincy on pole. He wasn't looking great. I think bottom 5 for today. Because Takengino, despite using all of his tires, was also not looking too bad, and Andrew as well. I think it's gonna be Andy, Fallison, close to Bevish, and then it's gonna be Moksha, and then Andrew, and then after that it's just Takengino, Kovatska, Race, Chase, Rowley, and Quincy against each other, so let's see. Speaking of, Kovatska is the only driver who has not left the pits. And we will be going to Bevish. Bevish and Paul then. Hopefully, you guys need the points. And your other drivers in P17. And I was joking about they should be swapping V-Cup drivers with Red Bull, because the other two guys being out in 16th and 18th respectively are in fact both Red Bulls. But Bevish can't take 2 spots at Red Bull at once, so there we go. Obviously disregarding that Yukimi is replacing David on a rookie reserve basis for tonight. Bevish has way better control under brakes than Kwan, for example, had earlier in Q2. Pushing a lot. And I'm gonna use this for the entry to Spoon, because the off-board camera is just horrible to judge how good Spoon is. Was decent, I wouldn't say to the edge, but let's see what his lap time says to that. Has to say to that. 11.8, and there's a bit of lag going on. I hope he's staying in the session. And he's 4 tenths faster than the previous best from Race Chase inside of Q2. Let's see how much of an improvement the track has also been providing. 28.5, that is not much. And Feddersen goes to a 28.1. Okay, that means probably, as Moksha goes to third, that, yeah, we're gonna be seeing Andy into the 27th. Andrew 3rd, Race Chase 5th, then Quincy 4th, in fact. No, Andy 27.6. And Target 28.9. And then it's Rolly, last guy. And Bevish is there and thereabout. We have no idea if it's a used tire or not, because lap 1 is always on the board. 12.0, not too bad. Might be a high 28 as well. Yikes, Andy cooking, yeah. He's burning them alive, you can say. 5-star Michelin meal here from our Drivers' Championship leader. Kovačka is gonna be the last driver to set a time with 7 minutes on the dot right now. Left in the session, the usual 18 minutes of qualifying has been split into 3 parts for tonight, as we're gonna do this for the season finale. And this lap is also finally terminated for Kovačka, as he's invalidated at the exit of Deckner 1. Let's see if he's carrying enough fuel to do that again. He would be, but then the inlet would be slow. Don't know if he wants to do that. And Mocky is sandbagging. Spinny Quinny is doing good. These names are funny as hell. Enjoy that. Best lap I did was a 2. Oh, and off into the gravel. And that underbody is going to be hurting, if we were obviously affected by that in the game, but we are in fact not. Best lap I did was 27.8. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. And Race Chase is pushing on. See what the fuel said. 2 laps, so must have been running higher fuel. Roughly 3/10 faster after the first 7 turns. Let's see about the next 8. Sometimes I wonder why and how something is or is not a corner. If consistency is key, F1 and the FIA are everything but consistent with labeling a corner, as we have almost half a second now cut off by the current time of Race Chase. And he's looking like to be the 3rd driver on the grid to have a 0.9. And he is close to that, but splitting the Ferraris in 2 and making that a 0.866. And Kovačka is out already. You're racing next year's game, Herman? If you mean driving overall, or I don't know if you mean like for league racing, not sure. I unfortunately missed the first playtest because I only got an Xbox code. And it was for the new gen only, or that the new game is just gonna be out for the new gen only, so couldn't do that. Despite me having an Xbox wheel. Overall, yes, of course. I'm gonna be 2 big co-op career seasons. I'm gonna be probably trying to have regular 5-lapper streams, maybe. Also maybe with the SSRL guys. And if the game is even more fun to drive, because I really enjoy the 24 game. I have to say, every time I pick it up I find it more... Yeah, well, I like to come back to it. And yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get into elite rank as soon as possible. If they don't rework that, then the current system is always race 1 week, get promoted, and then be 1 or 2 divisions higher. So yeah, I want to be collecting the maximum points which I have no idea how long that's gonna be taking, but I don't mind racing on this game, yeah. And one thing I've never done is co-op career lore. A lot of people have said it handles like 20p, so it's looking good. Yeah, I have to say I like the high-speed part on 24 more. Like, especially on this track, it feels so great in terms of the handling in high speed. Also, like, some tracks improved, like Vegas and what was it? I think also Belgium is a bit better. Oh, that's a lot of oversteer at the exit of Degner 2. Car has gone square there for Kovachka, who needs to be having a good lap time now. As fuel is running low, don't think he's going to be having another attempt here. 20 fuel was also very enjoyable, but I haven't gone back yet to race it again and test it. And that was very slow in the middle of Spoon. Car corrected itself and he turns it down. The EIS. 2 laps to go on fuel and he's in the final bit of the racetrack. That is going to be fine. As Quincy has already started off a lap and he is off. And there's no fuel left for him. So he's going to be out in maximum P7. 22 was my strongest, then I flopped low. 22 was the worst game I've played for a long time. Like my bottom, or basically ranking them, bottom is 25. Then it's 2019, 17. No, 15, 22. Oh well, hard to tell. Didn't like 19 at all. 15, 19, 22, 17. That's basically my bottom 4. And I raced on league, or I did league racing on the 2015 to game to now. And overall racing, I think 2010. That's even worse. I think 2010 is my bottom one. 15, 22, then maybe 11. I don't mind 14. Can't be up there, maybe between 17 and 19. So yeah, but top games 20. Well, now I have to say, because of the current feeling, 20, 24, 23, 2016 and 18, 2020. I just played on under the week again. Couldn't set up my wheel properly, so I have to say I have no idea, but overall in my mind it wasn't too bad, but now it's just under Series L. And 2021 is also in there somewhere. Andy and Moksha have gone, didn't approve. Well, Andy did not approve at least. Moksha is third. Fellison retired earlier. Let's see if Babish is gonna break into the Williams top pairing. And he's gonna be looking for a 28.2 at least. And he jumps to a 21.1! It's Babish actually being very close to what I have predicted before. Splitting the Williams and being on the second row at least. Fighting for the final spot on the front row next to Andy Andre. And Andrew is over the line now. Can he find half a second maybe to break into that as well? No. And only a 10 faster. As we already completed Q3. 2019 racing with esports drivers in OL Dakota was P6 for 5 laps. Then died in a wall. Peak highlight. You can see. Kicksauer didn't really do anything. Quincy also not improving on his time. Takajino was 7th there. And Rolly 6th. Because we missed that a bit. Did they improve? Oh yeah, there was an improvement. And Rolly found a 10th only. Andrew also only a 10th. Moksha a 2nd. Okay, sorry. Almost labeled as there was no improvement at all. Start in 2 minutes. I can find the stream. Silly season. I'm just gonna be looking at the tire allocation, so you know. C3, C2, C1, yeah, the hardest in the range. Obviously gonna be hurting you for you to run the tires so short, because you could probably extract more. Give me a second here. Oh, we are already starting, okay. On my clock it's not 32, but the 5 red lights are out, and we have no good start by Fellison, but by Bevish, and he's taking Fellison into turn 1 around the outside. We have someone standing still, that's Takajito, because he's probably not back at the racing seat. Tires are interesting because Fellison has started. Oh, and he's off! Fellison is off! He started on the hard and he's off! No way that just happened! He just did the Herman, but just a corner too early. I've been to TN Season 2 on this part of the racetrack, after we went from wet conditions to dries. Fellison just did a Herman, and Bevish is actually fighting for this lead already. Obviously, Andy's gonna put him under huge pressure to stay behind. And Gino is disqualified because they pressed too early. Oh my. What's with the other guys? 4 positions by Kovachka already. 12 down by Fellison because of that. Also Kuan up 9. Very nice start. Tires, softs for Quincy, for Kuan. Hards for Fellison, as we've spoken about. But I think he can be running the double medium to the end now, which would be nice. And Moksha has been gapped already by Bevish. He is looking crazy good already inside of the first 2 minutes. And he's still with Andy. And someone is around. And that's his teammate, in fact. Give me a second. Okay. Let's see if we can keep that. ES is very, very lovely even. And Fellison into the pit lane already. Now Takajino is also retired on top of that. I don't know how that happens. And Korn is holding this group up. ADS is looking feisty. And the top has gone away, and Jonathan is off into the gravel. And Veraduko takes that, and Haas are looking strong here tonight. And they might be bringing home some immensely important points. Also, the first time the 2024 Haas is racing on the home track. Obviously, usually you only have one race with a car inside of the season, so even EIS here. Moksha also very low, so they're pushing flat out. I have to say, Bevish looking good. Needs to be maintaining that gap and thinking about the undercut, because you're gonna be coming in sooner rather than later, and the field is not gonna be stretched out that much. And Yukimi already with 4. I have a 3-second time penalty, which doesn't help. And ADS takes Kwon into turn 1. Looking racy. 3.2 seconds to the next car. So yeah, obviously lovely Japanese pink-inspired livery for the 2025 Haas. And Race Chase is now behind his teammate Kovachka, who has lost DS and touch to the guys in front. Quincy using the softs to help him stay with the group. And Krankirk also with 3 seconds already. Even on EIS here. Andrew is sticking with Moksha. And Fellison has opted for the mediums, as expected. Please don't be a snooze fest like yesterday. I don't need another nap time, which I don't think we will be getting. Verdugo slipstreaming Kuan into the chicane. And he's not looking like he wants to line up an overtake here. But he's very close to the back of the Alpine driver. Overtake is being utilized. He's very close, pulling out to the left-hand side and is going into P10. And that's a double top 10 finish as of right now. As Yukmi on his debut has spun at the exit of the final chicane. And Andy is trying to pull the gap again. It's right on the brink. And Moksha is inside the DRS. And now I think we've lost Quincy. Up the Dunlop curve. Needs to be stopping for these drivers as Ferguson puts in the fastest lap. And that is an off from the Ferrari. And he needs to be aware of his tires now. Dirty and obviously full of dirt. Full of heat. So they're going to be extremely sensitive as they experience high loads here and high temperatures. Bevish is still with Andy. Moksha as well, and Rolly the next car to be. Yeah, no. He's actually has been caught by the Kicksaubers. Is what became, or what was, all 6 Ferrari powered cars inside of the top 10 has now become only 5 as Quincy has dropped back. And there's no move by any of these drivers. And we can have a nice ride on board, but with the rear view camera. As Quincy is into the pit lane indeed. And the top 4 have gone away, and Andrew is actually also trying to improving on his horrible Bahrain Grand Prix. And Moksha was wide at the exit of Degna, and Bevish is pushing this. Bevish is actually pushing Andy. What a pace so far. ERS advantage by Andy. He's managing that ERS a bit better right now. And Andrew might be looking at being also close there. Quincy for the hearts now. Let's see if Kovachka is lining up Rolly soon. And there's no move for turn 16 here. And Kovachka is staying behind. Race chase. I'm loving this, honestly. It's not action-packed, I have to say, but like both Kicksaubers and Haas are generally speaking very lovely to see, as Bevish now is taking the lead into turn 1. I didn't expect that. I thought he was gonna stay back. Rolly has been overtaken and Verdugo takes ADS. What is happening? What the F is happening? I mean, yes, advantage again, as I said, Andy. But like Bevish is not holding back at all. Wow. That's very nice to see. Also interested to see if Kovacic can maybe pull away. There are a lot of opportunities for someone to break the DRS, especially with the first sector. Because in the slipstream you gain something back, but if the gap has been opened up by, or up to 9/10, then you're not gonna be gaining too much. Although the detection point is just after 130R. Now there was the line. So yeah, if you get by on someone, you immediately need to get the first sector right, and especially up until the hairpin. Let's see if there's going to be a switch now. Moksha used all of his ES to get back into the DS window as Andy has now overtaken Bevish again for P1, and the... Oh, and Yukmi has retired, and there's a safety car. We have a safety car on track because of the retired Red Bull, and he hit the inside of the left-hand side barrier, I think. Yeah, there's the dirt on the tires, from the tires. Quan into the pits immediately. And Big Bruiser and Fallison also. Fallison can can swap for that hard again from the start and go to the end. Don't think we're gonna be seeing... Oh, he's going for 20 laps on mediums. Okay, Andy still needs to stop again. So if he can undercut to race with him again, he could also be going to another medium if he wants that. But I have no idea if that was the right move. I think 20 laps on the hards would be no nicer. Yeah, let's see if we can hear something from Phillison later. Was that on lap 1 when he crashed? Yeah. Fresh mediums for Andy. Moksha is going for the hards, as well as Andrew. And Andy's gonna be picking up the safety car just after turn 2. Plenty of drivers pitting as well. Veriduko to hards, Kovaska to hards. Krankyok also to mediums. Bonus has stayed in 9th, despite the first guy to be benefiting off of that. Big Bruiser Hearts, Quincy Hearts. Yeah, more sensible choice. That's why I don't recommend using the hearts in the first place for the start, because your options are so limited. I wish I could do a race on the 2-stop rule, because I would certainly love to see how all of these things were working. Bit sad that retirement needed to come, but never say never. Maybe there's this format returning in the future. Everyone has pitted, in fact, for at least the first time, and only Fallison and Quincy would be legally obliged, or could finish the race legally, let's say it like this. Oh! No, Veriduko, no! Oh, he was having such a great race, and then he spins himself out of the safety car queue. Oh, yeah, well, it's not over. At least he didn't damage the car. Bit too hot on the tire warm-up there. Was a strange place to lose the car, but... Okay, yeah. Drop from 8th to 12th. Not too bad. I have to say, not too bad. And he will be kind of running 7 laps on these tires. Maybe 10. I think you can go to the final medium as early as lap 17 at least. Maybe even earlier. And he's almost losing that car again, as the sound was just going a bit brutally. Shankyok, 3 seconds. The only driver with 3 seconds. And Quincy is into the pits again. As we watch who is the... Verdugo as was lost 1 now because he needed to spin, basically. Fellison down by 12, Quincy now down by 7, also Takagino down by 11 because he didn't start the race. Isn't it mandatory 2-stop? Yes, it is. Why? You are still racing. Why are you typing in the chat, my guy? Quincy has done an extra stop and is using that medium now because we have an extended lap by the safety car. No, we actually don't. Lap 7 it came out. So 2 laps is regular, and at the end of the second lap you go again. Okay, Fellison is gonna take these tires 2 laps longer than Quincy, who is, I think, finding the window with 70 laps for mediums. But I have to say, I would have maybe preferred the hards, despite the warm-up. Because he doesn't need to pit again anyway. Yeah, so... Race restart is gonna be coming soon. And the safety car will be peeling into the pits now. And Andy will be our lead driver. Horrible corner to have the safety car line anyway. Also very short run to the line now. Let's listen in with the Mercedes engine. And we are good to go. How did Bevish get on with that restart? He was looking very tight and nicely there as Kovačka goes somewhat weird with his teammate, but they stay in formation for what is turn 1. As Federation has already made a move, and now there's a second phase of the corners as Kwan is awfully close to the back of the Kicksauber as he's fighting that car to be turning in, and at the back Federation made already 2 positions and is using that tire to great effect. Biggest advantage he has now, he has stopped twice already, and the gap now is just over 5 seconds as we see a collision with Big Bruiser, and there's another safety car, and now everyone can pit again for hards. Big Bruiser at the exit, but there was no car behind, so I couldn't swap to that. At the exit lost his car, and then there was a collision, I think with Ibo maybe? Has anyone lost his front wing there? Not from what I can see. So if you have the hard still, go onto the tire now. Even the medium would be fine. That is tough luck for some drivers. But they will be dropping big places. Fellison is in as well. That's interesting. Hards again. Huh? I'm so confused. Okay, he was thinking 2 laps under the safety car with half a lap racing, and now 2 more laps of mediums. Wouldn't have worked? You're basically getting 3 tire saves, and that you can jump your opponents because you have already completed the final. I mean, yeah, I get it. Like 4 laps older mediums at the end isn't great. Maybe because the advantage was gone because of that second safety car anyway. Because Andy now doesn't need to go to get back after him under green flags. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And Bevish and the top 7 didn't pit again. as well as it. But that's a mistake in my eyes. Apart from the three hard runners. Because there's really an option, but I think 60 laps now mediums is fine. Yeah. I was... How old was the medium tire? 6 laps the other one. He pitted lap 1. Went to mediums. And then lap 7 again, okay. Yeah, okay, the hard is in fact the better tire choice. Although I think the medium would have done it, it doesn't really make sense to stay out when the biggest advantage with the track position, despite having the weaker tire at the end, yeah, it just gotten away from him after the safety car. So Ibo pitted after this, ADS pitted again. Yeah. Infected. So technically Quincy is leading this now. Everyone else needs to be doing another stop under green flags as of right now. I hope there's no third safety car coming out in the next 15 laps. Oh, they have to stay out longer now. I think you could go to softs on lap 20. And the sound is horrible. Again. Yeah, Babish is gonna be leading that restart. Big losses obviously for Andy now, but Jonathan is also in good shape here against the other guys. I don't see why they gamble on another safety car. Because why not go in now to the hards if you didn't start on them, which basically no one did. Only Fellison did that. And you can't extend the gap now. Even with barely used mediums. Restart time with Babish. And he's gone early after... Oh, and he loses the car almost at the exit. A bit too trigger happy on the exit as Moksha is fighting him for the race lead into turn 1. Around the outside goes the Williams. Can Moksha benefit from this race? Even on the weaker tire right now? No, Bevish stays ahead as there was now a race chase into the pit lane after the end of the safety car for whatsoever reason. And Quincy has stayed ahead and is fighting Kwon now, which Andy's gonna be doing soon as well. Quincy's fighting that to the inside, around the outside for Dekna 1. No, he doesn't need to be doing that, because the Alpine of Kwon lets him get that space. And now Feddersen and Andy are already behind each other. Let's see, top 5 haven't switched around. To the inside goes Andy. Now we need Feddersen to clear Moksha as well. Now only 1 lap in terms of tires is the difference. And you can see how they make good and quick work of the Alpine. Really close to Andrew, who was having a good race. But it's on the hards now, and there was no real other option, he thought, other than to stay out, where Duku passed Krankjork. And all of these drivers pitting means they're getting free positions later on. Especially Moksha and Andrew Babish were all in front of Kovachka and Rowley. Race chase pit stop is interesting. Not the right call. Hearts now, yeah, he also had the hearts available to him. No idea why he didn't do that earlier. But he will look at this and think, oh yeah, I gambled too much on the safety car. Obviously, some can... If there's a safety car coming out now, he's gonna be hating this race. Moksha has dropped back from Bevish, using that fresh medium still. Quincy is by on Kovachka again after Dunlop. My guy, first you spun on the softs there, and then you just completely obliterate your competition there, as Andy is going to the inside of the Hungarian driver as well with another one behind. They were close mates before. Kovachka is not giving him the room there. He's using all of his battery. He's gonna be that real Vladimir Petrov in his side now if he can't get the move done. And this is more of the classic racetracks where there's only one DS zone and it's not that great, you have to say. And now Feddersen is looking closely, doing his former teammate absolute fantastic work. And Pevish just checked out so far. Quincy, I don't know what happened here. Rowley went deep. Quincy went by. Is fourth now. He's actually leading the race if you disregard pit stops. And now we are 5 cars behind each other. There's Kuhn moving to Kovachka. Andy around the outside of Rowley, who had a bit of a messy lap at the end of this one. Is he under pressure from Fellison? Certainly Fellison is under pressure from Fellison because Andy needs to be getting by. And he has gotten by on a car that is very tricky to overtake inside of the first sector. Top 4 are without the AS, so Quincy is leading the straight now. Into the hairpin, we might go with Fellison. Late of the late breakers, but he isn't doing that. And the race at the back can still come back to some. And Kovachka's lost the car. And Veraduko takes that position happily. No damage done to the big Sauber as of right now. Fellison is racing multiple cars still with stops to come. Rowley, Kuan. Oh, there's a spin by Kranjok. And there's in fact another safety car. And Babish is saved. But he needs to be going to the hearts now. Oh my word. Moksha's gonna be loving this. Fresh mediums. Quincy's staying out. Quincy has taken the race lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. And 3 of the most established teams, despite the latter having no recent success. They are looking good. ADS also improving this one. Track position is still vital. Rowley with 11 laps softs coming. Interesting. But you have to say, track position is vital. Obviously, tire performance can help you. And we've seen that by the top drivers just now. With them overtaking the midfield group on still young tires. Very easily. So, yeah. The thing that the drivers also complained about yesterday, that the fact that the field is too close together, you really need a high pace advantage that wasn't really there because the tires weren't degging at all, and there was no deg that allowed for bigger gaps in pace. And yeah, Pirelli, even after Australia, where we had after China, where we had resurfacing, didn't think about going a step softer, the new smoother tire mag in Shanghai, providing us with less stops and a less entertaining race. And we got basically 2 stinkers in a row, and even Suzuka being even way worse than that. Yeah, so Kranjok giving us the third safety car. We really didn't have any racing. Lap 7, the first safety car came out, and after that it was basically 2 laps of racing so far. And yeah. Quincy 7 laps, with 11 to go at the end is gonna be tricky. The rest is gonna be enjoying these tires. Verdugo goes in again if he has another fresh medium, that would be lovely. 10 laps on the softs. He's actually going for that. I hope he doesn't screw up his race with that. He had a top 8 performance in him today. And there is not a single soul that hasn't completed the mandatory 2-stop rule. And we are doing that inside of this 5th season for SSRL for the first time as well. That was a bit off the track. Also, both Kick Saubers currently completely out of the window for the points they had before. Kovacs got pitted under the safety car when it came out last lap, but you have to say Race Chase lost the most. Pitted the lap after the safety car, and now there's the safety car, and he didn't pit again and stayed in basically last. And yeah, they're gonna be wondering what happened. Kovacs is in terms of position before the safety car still somewhere in terms of the drivers around him where he was before, but everyone who did come in, or at least some, including Moksha, Bevish, Andrew, also Rolly, are ahead. And we have the 3rd driver today that's gonna be doing a restart, as we have hopefully 10 more laps of racing coming our way. I'm just gonna use this safety car is unreduced. Wow. Lights out. No, they're not. We have another lap here. Okay. Maybe that can change things for a driver. If I was race chase, I would swap. Nothing to lose. 6 laps of mediums, not worth the risk, basically, or the time. Verdugo went to softs and is immediately in again. What is he thinking? Mediums again? But way older mediums. Huh? Excuse me? I think it's on a knife's edge, I have to say. I think even with 2 more laps under the safety car, which we almost completed for him, he would have... There would be 9 laps flat out race pace for the tires, which I don't really think was out of the question. Like, I can see them doing 10 when the car is low on fuel, especially. And obviously the DRS trains are helping as well, because the field is so tightly packed at the end of the race. So I don't see the benefit of using a tire that's not gonna last. I think the soft is gonna be at like 70 at least after 10 laps. And this medium is maybe at 10 max. But the pace isn't really the same. Well, you have to wait and find out how much that is gonna benefit him. 8 positions for 4 drivers, including our race leader, Jonathan, ADS, and Ibo as well. Unfortunately, I cannot imagine any one of these staying in the same position as they are right now. And another sound bug here. We are down to 9 laps of, hopefully, 9 laps of racing. What is that sound bug? Quincy going slowly as Andy and Fellison behind. Proven race winners. And he got the better of Andy, and there's a 10-second time penalty for a collision with Moksha for Seibo. Top drivers have stayed the same. Fellison being close to Andy. And some gaps have opened up as ADS goes a bit wide on that turn. And Moksha has oh no, Moksha has front wing damage. There was a collision for Moksha and he's lost the right hand side of his end plate. I have to say, for most of these turns that is not too bad as Jonathan makes a mistake, rides the big curb on the exit of Degner 1, gets a 3-second time penalty, and now has lost positions to Andrew, who's looking very good to be finishing on the podium here as well with Bevish. Only needs to clear a rather slow Haas in front of him, especially looking at the tire gaps. 3 to 10 laps. Three-way fight almost into 130R, but you can see Fellison making it by on Quincy. And Andy isn't looking like he's gonna finish off this move into this turn. DS is enabled on this upcoming lap, but it can't be used until the end of the lap, which is basically the start of the next lap. Moksha's gonna stay out with that wing damage. First sector is gonna be horrible for him, and especially Dunlap curve up the hill, but most should be fine as it goes into the pits. Oh, rather fine, I have to say. Andrew's close. Rowley and Moksha are still staying with ADS. And Kuan is out of the DS from Verdugo, and he is himself looking very nice. We need Bevish to catch up here, as ADS goes off the track, making way for Rowley. And Moksha down the inside, ADS with the way a wider line to the outside, and Kovacs is close to that as well. Andy thinking about a move on Quincy for the spoon turn. I have to say, Quincy is really... Oh, and he's gambled too much! And he has gambled too much on the tires, and Quincy has lost it! And also Jonathan is also off the track. Multiple cars finding it hard to cope with spoon turn. Spoon corner, sorry. Why did I say turn? And Bevish is into the DRS of Andy. Way low on ERS though, as is Andrew. And Rowley in 5th, looking good. No move coming here. Fellison is about to run away with this. ADS getting Moksha, but the Kovačka is looking, I think, feisty. Also fresher mediums than most of these drivers. I was about to finish the sentence for Quincy where he's gonna risk it for, I think, 15 laps or so. Yeah, over 15 laps he's gonna be having at the end. Maybe the tire was also done too early. Similar on ERS level here. Now let's go back with Kovačka. Juan is close to Jonathan. With Ibo currently securing 2 more points. Fastest lap is currently in the hands of Hello's son, and he is only a 10th away. Bevish is a 10th away. Andrew is a 10th away. Rowley as well. Moksha another 10th, but he has wing damage. Top 3 will stay the same, but top 4 won't be. Because there's no DS for Bevish, and now there's a faster lap time by Andy. And Andrew takes 2 P3. And is now made his way by on Bevish. Tire check again for these. Same age for the tires, but different compounds. And obviously with safety car conditions where you can really at least subtract 2 more laps. So they're as fresh as they can be, basically. Moksha's trying to secure a 6th place with his broken car, and there are going to be questions about how Seibo and him collided. Because that was a 10-second penalty to Ibo that he served already. And he's looking at the back of Fallison. High advantage is with the Romanian driver. Pace advantage as well. Let's see if Andrew can find something. He's closing the gap down. Has used a lot of ERS, but if he's inside there, then it's going to be good for him. Also getting away. Skovachka has taken ADS after what seems to be a poor exit from the Haas driver, even before the 130R corner. Let's see if the top 2 are changing. They're changing their lines. Fallison aggressively swapping lines, but not illegally, as Jonathan has taken over the chicane. And now Andrew has a chance to stay with these drivers, and Bevish will be a bit disappointed. Obviously a high risk strategy with staying out after the 2nd safety car. Rowley still within the reach of the top 4. But podium might be about to be decided. And there's another crash, and this time it's ADS. And I can't see that. Exit of Degner under the bridge. An actual bridge because of the track. Can't believe we don't have more tracks with the figure of 8. I love to do some remodeling. Yeah, a lot of ERS burned by these drivers, and Fallison is about to lose the DRS. Has he lost it though? He indeed did. Andy with another fastest lap. 1.4 seconds faster. As Andrew just sweeps around him on the inside, basically, and takes that 2nd place over Fallison. Andrew with an absolute stellar drive. Starting from P5, in fact. Moksha is close to Kovachka, was maybe overtaken by him. We didn't see that into turn 1. Quincy into P10 again, but 6.6 seconds away from Veraduco on 15-lap old mediums. Didn't seem to be the play. And it's currently a double Romanian podium. Romanian 1-2 as well. And you have to say, after Rubastian left, I didn't expect to have Andrew on the podium instead of this season. But yeah, Moksha's kind of missing. Danger David is missing. Also Energetic, who's usually a bit further ahead of Andrew. Yeah, Andy has checked out, but this battle isn't over yet, and Bevish is back within the 1 second window, but wasn't at the point where the detection point was, and Fallison back into P2 for now. And Race Chaser is overtaking the other Williams, who's gonna be limping home. Front tires are severely punished here, front limited. Track overall, and when you have less downforce, the air around the car, and especially tires, is disturbed, which means also in the game that your wear is worse on that side. So since the front... Well, the front right takes a beating from both of these long corners, which, yeah, are probably very hard to drive right now for Moksha. And yeah, the rest is kind of fine, I would say. Jonathan has spun it again, losing part of his swing in the process. 13-lap-old Hearts. And he's still a machine, Ron Vincent says. Yeah. Is that you control? I don't know. Could be. I think so. I think Frenic has a different account. Yeah, control. Okay. Yeah, and he has had some stones in his way, but his pace was super quick in quality again. Pole was not really a contention. But second place is, and let's see if Andrew can hold it. Tires should be good. 2 more laps to go. ES is similar. Let's look at Quincy retaking 10th off of Quan despite his older tires. And yeah, Sauber gonna be happy how they recovered these final 2 positions, but yeah, maybe have to ask themselves about timing of the safety car and when to pit. And Haas, yeah, ADS is not gonna like this result, I think. But they can't be too sad about it. ADS was 20th in Bahrain last week. There's no finishing the race at least. And 90% is also completed, so points will be awarded. Only 1 3-second time penalty to a driver's name. The final opportunity for Andrew will come now. ES is not higher than the one from Fellison, but the DS is very powerful, very effective. Goes to the inside line, cuts to the outside line again. Andrew is pulling all of his ES out of his pocket. And has, yeah, overtaken Fellison for now. Let's see how he's gonna be coping with that pressure from the Williams driver behind, who's currently 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. And will be losing more points to the driver ahead. And we are about to see maybe a very nasty move into Degner 1. Very difficult to defend. Last opportunity maybe into the chicane. Or into this hairpin. Andrew is kind of in the middle of the track. As Andy has checked out by roughly 4 seconds now. ES currently just a couple of percentage points advantage for the Aston, and he's gonna be happy with that either way, I think. Oh, there was a way better exit for Fellison than it was from Andrew. I want to see this into the final chicane. Hot lip is being used. He's close. Is he close enough? A lot of speed has been carried through to the inside of the chicane. He goes and he shoves him off the track. They make contact. They make contact at the exit, and he has through to win this race in Japan. And Bevish misses out on the podium by 0.03 of a second as Roddy takes 5th place. Race chase in front of Kovachka, and Moksha will be claiming a very damaging P8 as he was trying to cope with the tires getting worn from the damage. Quincy 10th after spinning late into the race. 11th for ADS Quan. 12th is beaten by the Haas. Jonathan in 13th, and Silvo is going to be down the order there. Interesting. From the camera is not great to judge that, but I think Andrew was aware of how much space he was giving to the inside line. Better than last week, at least. Yeah, certainly better than DNFing in P20. So yeah, there will be talking points. And because of that, Bevish almost snuck by on Andrew. I have to say, it looked like there was enough space, and Fellison just didn't hit the breaking point at the right time. And then there was no space there. Enjoyed the comms. Till next time. Don't tell me you listen to the comms throughout the race. Man, you should be concentrating on driving the race. Also, stop again. For mediums or softs. On the final safety car. Fellison gets the drive of the day. Yeah, judging by how he was last after lap 1, it's useful to know what's going on. Okay. Okay, yeah. Can't imagine that's helpful for concentrating. I've thought of it, but for track it might be better. Yeah, well, generally speaking for this track, yeah, but yeah, the tire disadvantage is great. Okay, it seems we're not getting the final result. So I'm just gonna read this from my tool for you. If you missed that. Andy took the win in front of Fellison after a, let's say, a slightly controversial overtake on Andrew into the final chicane. Bevish came close there in 4th. Rowley 5th, and race chase on Kovačka in 6th and 7th respectively. Moksha only 8th today after damage on the safety car restart. Reduku Quincy ADS in 11th, Juan 12th, Jonathan 13th, Silbo 14th. Crank York DNF, Bruiser DNF, Yukmi on his debut, DNF in 17th, and Takejino got disqualified because we started early. Okay, we actually are getting the result, but very late. Oh, we got half of the cutscene. Half of the cutscene from the podium, which is nice. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, then you heard the final result here. And I will be switching to this screen, and we await arrival of the podiums. Andrew was third. How the fuck are you so fast? I quoted this from Fellison in the chat. What is this camera? Oh my, big bruiser. He won't keep the podium. Oh well. I guess. That's fine. Okay, drivers are in. I just want the game to be closed. Which I hope we will be getting. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll have force a play here. Oh no, we actually don't need that. Okay. And let me get this one. And the standings, and then we're good to go. This one. And this one. Okay. Then let's swap to the drivers. And we are heading to the interviews for tonight's Japanese Grand Prix, a race 12 out of 16. And we are once again speaking to Andy Andre after another great win, which was, if I'm not mistaken, the 7th or 8th already inside of the season. Andy, congratulations on yet another win. You are extending your lead at the top of the Drivers' Championship. And you have been put something here through, especially with these three safety cars, a lot of different tire strategies for the opponents inside of this race, and then you just made it by on Fellison at the restart, also Quincy there, and then you just took off and signed off with another W. How are you feeling after this one?
Very happy, obviously, to get the win. It's a track that I love, and I always kind of do good here. The safety cars obviously made it a bit more difficult that it could have been, but still, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I was stuck in traffic for a few laps, but luckily I wasn't involved in any incidents, and it worked out okay in the end. I had one or two near misses when Quincy spun. I had to slam the brakes pretty hard and just missed hitting him from the side. But yeah, apart from that, a pretty clean race, and happy with the setup and the result.
Yeah, obviously, this race was something a bit different, especially looking at the stints where also someone new was rear, in your wing mirrors, and this time it was Bevish. How do you enjoy or like prepare for a fight maybe with someone you haven't raced a lot of? Obviously, you've been at the forefront of this field throughout the both of the divisions, and you've been racing for since you joined for the top spots in every race. And despite some drivers like Moksha not really being in the fight today and David missing, you still had your usual fellas in next to you, but this time it was also Bevish there. So how was that fight with someone that wasn't or isn't usually up there?
Of course, it's always enjoyable when someone, well, let's say, new to the fight for the top spot comes along, and yeah, it was really an enjoyable and clean fight. I tried to break away from the DRS on a couple of occasions, but I just couldn't manage it. So congratulations to Bavish. For the pace he showed today, and yeah, happy to have someone mix things up a bit.
Yeah, obviously, when we are looking at the championship, as I've alluded to, you have cleared Fellison even more after today. We are gonna take a break and we'll be jumping into what is gonna be the Saudi Arabian GP, followed by the Netherlands, Miami, and the full quali session in Silverstone again. Any track you are particularly looking forward to, and obviously we're gonna be looking at closing out the championship in the next couple of events, and certainly before, if things go as smooth sailing as they did so far, before the end of the season. Anything you looking at in terms of tracks that you really want to have, maybe a good race that wasn't really a good race in the previous seasons, maybe, or something you just relearn to enjoy, a track like, for example, Netherlands, that is also quite high on downforce and has a huge skill ceiling. Anything there from your side?
Yeah, I really love the upcoming tracks, Jeddah and uh, Zandvoort, as you said, and Silverstone are one of my best tracks. So really looking forward to getting some good results there. In terms of wins, I'm not sure. I'll just have to take one race at a time. If I if I could choose, I would like to win obviously the season finale, and maybe the race where I'm mathematical champion, which I think could be one of the following two, if I'm correct.
Okay, looking forward to what you can produce, obviously, in 7 days, in 14 days, sorry, days time. And obviously, probably gonna speak to you again tomorrow night. So, have a great rest of the day and see you soon.
Yep, looking forward to it. See you soon. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
And second place goes to Williams driver Fellerson, who had a mountain to climb. Obviously, 3 safety cars helped you after that lap 1 collision. I am a bit sad that you really tried to get the impression of what I did in season 2, but didn't fully nailed it. Despite that, great comeback from you, and also a very hairy moment into the final chicane on the last lap. Talk us through your race, and especially how you took that second place on the last lap.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm not. It was quite enjoyable after the mistake that happened in sector 1. I don't really know what happened. I don't know if I had bad internet or some cars around me did. But there was a couple of legs, and then the car just went in the first sector, and I hit the wall, broke my wing. I did enjoy trying to fight my way back. Obviously, the safety cars, one would have been good enough to help me a little bit, but with 3, I think I made the wrong call as well, and I didn't go for the hards after the second safety car. But in hindsight, to be fair, it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. I would have just had a little bit older tires rather than these ones. But yeah, I try to pull a gap in the end, but Andy's pace is just incredible. So fair play to him.
Yeah, certainly was checking out there at the end. I have to say, strategy choices for you were interesting. At the second safety car, I was thinking like that doesn't make any sense. Then you went back to the hards at the third one, kind of to have maybe a better tire at the end because the mediums were already like kind of won, but also we only had safety car laps. So I think you came out with the best solution because having a more durable tire despite maybe lacking some initial warm up and pace is still better to do. And if you push the
Yeah, I
mediums
mean,
too hard, you can be looking at being left for tires at the end, even with a short sprint at the finish with the later safety car coming out with like 10 laps to go.
yeah, I am pretty happy with P2 after what happened. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was last or just one before last.
Mm-hmm.
And I managed to bring it back. I am very sorry to Andrew about the last chicane. I think we both went very, very deep, and yeah, I mean, all I can do is say sorry. But yeah, I did enjoy the fight. I wish I would have known that he had a 21-second penalty. Then I probably would have just waved him by.
Yeah. Hindsight is a beautiful thing. 1 week
Yeah.
break is coming up, the final one before we head into the last quarter of this season. What is maybe one of the highlights in terms of track for you, and is there anything you look towards to especially, and what do you think is also maybe possible for 2 weeks time in Saudi as well?
I do enjoy Saudi a lot. But if I remember correctly, last time I went in with the same kind of positivity, and then it felt like Andy and some other guys enjoyed it a lot more. I think it was also critical, and critical is a good like soul destroyer
Yeah.
if you race against him. It's crazy.
I can see that. Okay. Yeah, then I'm obviously looking forward to see what you can produce in 2 weeks' time, and maybe I'm gonna speak to you again tomorrow. Have a good night and goodbye.
Hopefully. Thank you very much for the stream. Cheers. Bye.
No worries. And we will be now moving to what is going to be third place on the road after penalties applied to Andrew, and that is our birthday boy Bevish. Congratulations on the third place here tonight. You had an absolute barnstorm of a race. You said it yourself in the beginning that this racetrack is going to suit you, and you were right there at the end of qualifying, only a couple of hundreds missing to this, the front row next to Andy, and then a good fight with him, and later on after safety cars where you could pull through, and now you're on the podium. How do you feel after this one?
Thank you very much for the wish. Well, gutted a little bit at the same time, but I'll take P3. Having the first podium in SSRL, I think it's amazing, to be fair. So yeah, Hats off to obviously the drivers who's been there. Andre Felson, of course. I think lap one, it was a bit unlucky. He was behind me. The timer went really quick because I was not ready in my seat when the timer started at so it was like 15 seconds left, maybe. That's when I set up my strategy and everything, and the fuel especially. So I was just on time to start the race. So I was not really I would say pushing a little bit lap one, so I had to settle. So probably that's why. Sorry if Felsen lost that because of me, but I still kept going, of course. But overall, P3, I'll take it. Gutted with the last safety car because I did try to pull a gap because I was thinking to do the soft as well for the end. So I did have an advantage there being on medium at the end, and I already pulled 2 seconds I think from Moksha, and knowing Andre coming on hards going to the end as well from traffic, I thought I did have an advantage there. So the tires would have paid off probably at the end with the soft, to be fair. But yeah, I'll take P3 as well.
Yeah, so that was obviously also curious to me. Some drivers were on the hards under the second safety car. So, did you always plan to do this way, or because like it was obviously when you have already had two safety cars, the third is most of the time not too far away. So obviously staying out is gonna give a huge undercut to the guys behind who also pitted already for the second time, including Fellas and Quincy at that stages where he was leading the race at the restart for the third safety car. So what was maybe the thought process there at this stage where you just wanted to stay out and maybe have the track position advantage, or what was the major thought process there?
Yeah, for me, it was always going to be medium, and soft, depending, of course, if there's safety cars, of course. So, um, obviously, if the safety car came a bit later, then you would have gone for, sorry, a little bit earlier, then you would have gone for hards because you want to extend it as much as possible to bring the soft at the end because you know that the hards don't have the same lap time and grip like the soft or the medium, especially on this track. uh, Even though you've got high deck, the grip's still there. You can still feel it, and you can still, maintain a good consistency on this track. So yeah, that was the plan. To be fair, when the first safety car came in, it was perfect for medium, and whoever pitted in hards, that was bang on advantage there. To be fair.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I was looking at the drivers' championship table for Division One, and have unfortunately spotted you not scoring any points so far, if I'm correct. So you're gonna be jumping up the order quite high, and hopefully take this momentum into tomorrow if you're racing. So, what is maybe one learning, despite you finishing on the podium today, that would maybe benefit you for tomorrow?
Um, for me, the only thing that matters the most in a league is learning from the drivers. So, I mean, learn the drivers really. That's really important because you want to know how they defend, you want to know how they attack, how they use ERS, So, yeah, and obviously their pace as well. So, not everybody has the same pace. You could be in front even though after two stops or one stop, things like that. So you got to learn. You learn the grid, and then of course you make your place. You make your way up there slowly. But that's one of the things that matters the most for me. I remember starting with A1 and A1 as well. It took me some time to learn the drivers, how they drive, etc. So yeah, that's one of the main things. But I would say later in the season you would see me as well. I think there's a few of my three favorite tracks coming. Um, there's the Dutch Grand Prix. I think the next one is Saudi. I had my first no assist win there. Love that track as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, sounds good already. I was gonna ask you about the last quarter of the season. Looks like two of the tracks are gonna be suiting you. How are you, or what are you aiming for at the end of this fifth season, where you've came in, you've shown some quick pace, especially in qualifying. Have been up there in Q3, also in these full qualifying sessions. Have been almost on the front row tonight. So anything you're looking at race wise, especially with some of these races coming up being especially chaotic, I can imagine, for mandatory 2-stop. So anything in particular you look forward to achieving at the end of the season?
It depends on the agenda as well. So we'll take it how it's go. If obviously, you know, I always do some practice, just few laps, you know, just to get in the rhythm, and that's what I struggled before. You're not knowing the drivers, not knowing where they brake, how much they brake, and things like that. But obviously, last time it did help me to be in the pack in Bahrain at the front. Then today, of course, a track that I'm very confident. So really looking forward to obviously just get some more podiums. Let's say pace is there, just need some practice. Just before, you know, after work sometimes just going straight away in a race is not ideal, to be fair. So I always, and obviously some new setups coming on as well. So it's always good to get, you know, a bit of practice with them as well before you go on.
Yeah, maybe there's an extra week now as an opportunity to get that thing going for at least Saudi. Congratulations again on
Definitely
P3.
will be there.
Yeah, and speak to
Thank you,
you
man.
soon.
Thank you so
And
much.
enjoy the evening. And we will be moving to what was on the road P3 for Andrew. We're going to speak to the Aston Martin driver. Great race from you as well. Obviously, been hit with a big penalty that is costing you some places with all of the safety cars we'll be having at the end of the race. And they had a lot of penalties, meaning you're gonna go down the order. Despite that, huge race from you. I think you did a very good job here tonight with all of these strategies calls that needed to be made inside of a very short amount of time. I think we had like 10 laps where we had the 3 safety cars, and you were still fighting, obviously, in the drivers for the top 5 spot. Also closing in on what is now reserve driver controls, maybe top 4 at the end. We still have 4 races to go. How do you reflect on this race from you? Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. First of all, the drivers for having a great race in front. Congratulations to Andy. Fast as always. Felson fast as always. Bevish, very surprised. He had great pace, especially qualifying. For me, was always a great track, especially race pace. They, considering that it was a qualifying session, did good. My PPE is 27, but to be honest, I didn't practice at all for the qualifying pace. Unfortunately, yeah, sorry.
No, go on. Sorry, there was a pause.
Yes, I said unfortunately, although first podium, it's a bitter podium because I take the penalty. I really wanted Bahrain, but fortunately, I had a tap with Baksha and trying to get back on track. He lost the car. I touched him a bit. We both into the wall, and I got disqualified. So a huge penalty. So I would have to pay. Got it, but it is what it is. Sometimes just get unlucky. But form of bad luck and get back to scoring big. Some great tracks for me coming. I'm confident in my race pace, especially.
Yeah, obviously, you have been fighting for what is a good midfield position at the end of this season. Now, as discussed, we have 4 more races to go, and obviously, you are going to be looking around you towards the Quincy and Energetic throughout the next couple of races. Is there any particular track you are enjoying the most out of these last 4, and what are your personal goals for the end of the season now? Do you want to completely finish off this one with consistency, have maybe a highlight push on maybe with a track you don't know or don't like that much, as we have 1 more week of extra practice time for us available? So what is your focus and your mind at for the last 4 races?
Yeah, to be honest, I like Silverstone. I also like Zandvoort. I think second best track. So Jeddah, although I need quite a bit of track qualifying. I'm not that great, but race pace, I think I'm there with the front runners. It's very important to get a good qualifying. Run away because the are very, very consistent, and if you lose DRS to them, race over, especially in a two-stop. I'm looking forward to finish as high as possible. Of course, the top 4 is still possible. For top 3 can be touched, but I hope to finish on high, and especially to end this bad luck, because I had 3 miserable races, I would call them, and I didn't get any points. I think the third one. This quarter of the season was very bad for me because I carried one penalty to another. Just not me. I try to be as possible, as consistent as possible, but bad luck was following me all around. I hope taking this huge penalty will help me to get back on track and finish the season with high.
Yeah, and obviously one of the teams that is still on a nice constructors fight also for third. Ferrari is was only 18 points ahead of you before this. Takagino obviously was disqualified from something that happened before the race started, where someone pressed too early. You guys obviously had a great result probably on your hands with a good qualifying pass also from Gino. Some drivers, especially for example David, and also only one McLaren finishing inside the points today, is gonna keep that field tight, and obviously you need to be working together. Is there any sort of communication with Gino? Are you just driving your own races, or are you really looking to push the next 4 races to the maximum to make sure that you get that P3? Because top 2 are way gone, and I think Williams are going to take this sooner rather than later. So really the next 4 teams behind that are really fighting for that P3. Have you also been tracking these standings for the constructors here?
Yeah, obviously the constructors all the time, because it's very important where as a team. I didn't speak to Takangino, but for sure I will do it for the races, because we need the points. We need to both score decent points to put the team as possible. I try to help him as much as I could in some races by holding back some opponents, but usually I don't know if he's a full-time driver now. I had some serve as my teammates as a few less races, but for sure I will speak with him for the final quarter of the season, bring the team free.
Okay, yeah, obviously looking forward to what you can produce next time in 2 weeks' time. Wishing you a nice break as well, and see you for the final sprint to the finish with the last 4 races. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the evening, and speak to you soon.
See you. Cheers.
Bye. And that has been it from tonight's Japanese Grand Prix Race 12. If you want to enjoy more racing like this, make sure you leave a follow button. You click the follow button, sorry. And yeah, we're gonna be uploading this to our YouTube channel as well, Silly Season Racing League on YouTube, if you want to check out previous videos. Unfortunately, the Bahrain GP is missing because of issues I had with the game, but the rest is there, and I can highly recommend that, despite someone dominating this season with great race or had great races. And I'm looking forward to see what the final quarter will be. G-Dave and I will be taking on the second division for tomorrow night, and that is also going to be Suzuka Full Quali. And yeah, after that it's a week's break, and then it's going to be Saudi into Netherlands, Miami, and Silverstone, and that is going to be a full quality as well, as we are preparing for more news on the F1 25 game inside of this month, probably in the next coming 1 to 2 weeks, and then we'll be interested to see what also Quincy brings up to the table, because we aren't called silly season for nothing. Wet races in season 2 especially, and then obviously this 2-stop season being some sort of a gimmick to bring more entertaining. And I have to say, despite the lead and the drivers and constructors world championships respectively, it's entertaining as hell. I hope you enjoyed it yourself. My name has been Hermit the German. Joining you tomorrow, and wishing you a good evening, good night, and speak to you soon. 2 weeks time is going to be Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. Until then, have a great one. Ta-da!